welcome back to the Matrix. The Matrix, you are the Matrix. How's it feel, Neo? And today we got ourselves a banger daily market news analysis. What is up? What is up? How's everyone feeling out of 10? Make sure you guys are spamming that like button, hitting the share so other people can spam that like button. As of the time of recording, Bitcoin currently sitting at $67,218. We talked about some liquidity down there at 66K yesterday. We'll probably grab that. There's a lot starting to build up here at $66,666.66. We'll probably grab that and then go back up to the upside. Most of the liquidity long term is to the upside, but there's short term some liquidity starting to build up there. So that's a good spot. If we get anything under 66K, 65K, to me, that's an extreme buy for Bitcoin. Currently sitting at 8 on the Fear and Greed Index, which is extremely over sold and deep in the fear. In fact, we've been deep in fear all of February. We've been in it all of January too as well, I believe. I think we were only out briefly for like a week or two in January. Yeah, so January 15th we got up to 48, and then on the 6th we were at 44, but the rest of the time for the past, multiple months since, when was this? Since all the way back in November, we have been in extreme fear outside of the 2 days where Bitcoin had a spike. So that tells me something. It's not everything. Who turned off YouTube lights? What are you talking about, brother? We longing right now. We've been longing every day in the Telegram. We're up. We made 3,200 today. We've had 11 winning days, 1 losing day. The month of February says, yo, barely got any expansion this run. Much appreciate your TA. Appreciate it, brother. YouTube is back. That was wild. What are you talking about was wild? What's good? All right, let's get into the rest of the TA. No, not this minute. No, I only trade 9 a.m. 10. YouTube's been back out for the past half hour. I did not know that. That's crazy. I'm the first live stream back on YouTube, baby. I did not know that. That's funny. We're so back, baby. We're so back. Ethereum currently sitting at 1980. The Russell still kind of meandering along. There's not really anything to report on the Russell unless we make a new all-time high or until we break this trend, which we have been doing. We've been putting in higher highs and higher lows the whole time. If this is going to hold, I expect us to put in a new high probably by this time next week, and that could be the one where we get the expansion that we've been waiting for. This is one of the things where it's like, Ski has the right analysis, but he's way too early on stuff. I did not know that YouTube was down worldwide. That's kind of crazy. Discord, Telegram is what I do. Irish Dano's posting, Dr. Dis and Solnick. Those are my 2 top 100x plays. How low we going, bro? I think Ethereum bottom is already in. XRP bottom is most likely in. There's a bet on Kashi or whatever, that Ethereum will not take out 1,400 or whatever. It's like 50-50. I'm pretty heavy on that. But yeah, I don't have I do have a Discord, but I'm not active on Discord. I'm active on Telegram. I'm active on Telegram. All right. Bitcoin dominance still kind of meandering its way along here. 58.54. If we take out this low over here, 58.4, we could make a plunge for the bigger one, which is 57. This has been here for a little while now. After we had our, this was the topping structure that we had been talking about. Again, another thing that I was painfully early on. So we'll see. Russell rotation into Sonic. 100%. Sup. Or portfolio call with Ski. All right. Are we in a bear market officially? People are getting too caught up on the terminology of the words. Like, if you want to call it a bear market, sure. We've been in a downtrend since October. And the reason that people want to nail that down is because they want to be like, oh, we're starting a bear market. It's like, whatever this is, if you want to call it a bear market, sure. You want to call it a bull market, sure. Whatever. We've been in a downtrend since October. Whatever this downtrend is, like, I'm not getting fixated on the 4-year doctrine of everything and the 4-year theology of everything. But whatever it is, we have serious signs to indicate to us that we are rounding the structure on that. How you doing, bro? People think we going into crypto winter like 2022. That ain't going to happen. Right. So, like, we've been in crypto winter since October. It's almost springtime. It is literally almost springtime. Did the groundhog see his shadow? I don't remember. March 3rd. That's the last lunar eclipse until 2029. Okay? 2029. That is the last lunar eclipse until 2029. Full lunar eclipse. In my opinion, by the 15th or so, we're going to see a noticeable trend difference. And if we don't get any more dipping opportunities between now and then, that's when I'm full porting. Full porting. March 15th. Make sure you guys are spamming the like button, hitting the share, so other people can spam that like button. I'm feeling pretty sapped, guys. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna do my best. Bitcoin gold pair showing. We've been in a downtrend for a year, almost making the typical 1 year down. Yeah, exactly. Like, if you want to say the euphoric peak was November of 2024, like, I'll buy that for $1. But that means that we're basically done. And I have the beard bet, and the head shaving bet, and the $500 giveaway bet. Here's my view. What's my view? My view is, I believe Bitcoin will not get a daily body close below 50K. Everyone is waiting for the magical scheduled 50K bottom in October. My view is it is not coming. Do not come. Do not come. My view, it's not coming. In fact, not only do I think it's not coming, I have a beard bet, a head shaving bet, a $500 giveaway bet, all in one, right here. I'm not guaranteeing we never go lower. However, this is a good time to DCA, not financial advice. If Bitcoin closes a daily body Heikenhashi candle below 50K, not a wick, I will shave my beard, my head, and give away $500. It's not coming. Do not come. So listen, I think Ethereum is probably already bottom. Most of the altcoins bottom first. People think that the scheduled bottom is in October. I think that Bitcoin's more likely to have an all-time high by then. I think that the altcoins are more likely, not all of them, but some of them will have an all-time high by October rather than a bottom. I think the bottom will be at the latest in April. How far off was ChatGPT on prediction? Pretty close. It said 85K. I don't remember. I had a bull case, bear case. I medium case with my model. I don't remember what it said, but I remember 85K. I would like to point out only warriors and savages,
but the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah,
are still in the trenches of crypto. 100%. If you're still here today, if you're still grinding, if you're still learning, if you're still growing, if you're still putting in that work, you are a savage. You are the future 1%. What does it take to be a great trader? I'll show you what it takes. That's what it takes, ladies and gentlemen, right there. That's what it takes. It takes everything. It takes discipline. It takes consistency. It takes emotional intelligence, journaling, growing, learning, taking the same setup the same time, again and again and again, practicing one kick 10,000 times, again and 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 again. What's the top for Bitcoin in October? I don't know that it's going to be October. I'm just saying more likely. I'm not predicting October is the top. That's not what I'm predicting. I'm saying that Bitcoin is more likely to be at an all-time high in October than the scheduled bottom that everyone started waking up in unison, just chanting like it's the new religion, that the October scheduled bottom at 50K. I'm saying we're more likely to be at an all-time high in October than this nonsense right here. Everyone just woke up one day and started chanting that. Says I was at that game. You were at that game. That was the craziest 1 yard run ever, 2 yard run ever. Do you think Bitcoin will go down to 50K? It can wick there. I don't even think that that's likely. I think the more likely spot is like 58K if we're going to wick somewhere. But when everyone starts chanting one number in unison, like that's where we're not going. We're not going there. Everyone is chanting in unison 50K October scheduled bottom. That's what they think is going to happen. It's not happening. Will VeChain outperform HBAR? I like both of them. I think they're both going to perform really well. Where's the resistance level? Support or resistance? Are you asking me where the floor is, or are you asking me where the ceiling is? Are you asking me? Yeah, okay. So that's support. I just wanted to be clear because I thought you were asking me where the floor, but that's technically support. It's all of this. 200 and I believe this is 90 days. 220 days over here. And then you go back to the previous all-time high. You have 290 days. So there's 510 days of support. We're on top of it right now. Right now. Historically, where does Bitcoin go? In the bottom of the bear market. I'll tell you where. It goes to the prior all-time high. That's where it goes. Look at the Fibonacci. Why am I bringing this up? Because you might be like, well, the prior all-time high was 19K. And you'd be right. Sure. Look at where the body of this. There was one body, 1 week above $15,000. 1 week body above $15,000. The rest of them were right here. Look at where we went. Right there. Nailed it perfectly. Okay, so also the 200 has historically been a level of support. This dark blue line, the 200 weekly, has historically been a huge level. Guess where we just touched? Guess where we just kissed? So can we wick lower? Sure. Are we closer than people think? Yes, way closer. Way closer. We are going to 50K. Get in line, take another number. That's what everyone is saying. Get in line, take a number. Everyone said that we were going to 12K in last bear market. Everybody and their brother and their mother and their wife's boyfriend all said we were going to 12K. Listen, I will give away $500 if we close the daily body below 50K. I will shave my head live if we close a daily body below 50K. I will shave my beard live if we close a daily body below 50K. It's not happening. I hope it does, because my average price of 22K is too high. Do you think Meister survives this downtrend? Yeah, probably. They might have the Forbes curse, I guess. That would be the biggest risk. Do they have the Forbes curse? I can't use Bybit. Okay. What are you saying, brother? What are you talking about? What do you mean by that? Why do you like the VeChain? Tokenomics. Supply plus demand equals price. I think Link will be a front runner. Yeah, I think Link is a good buy here. Like, I don't think you want to be too sparing on spreading yourself too thin on altcoins, but I think Link is a good candidate. Can I use my Bybit account? I have no idea. I got no idea, brother. Make sure you guys are spamming the like button, hitting the share so other people can spam that like button. Yeah, I think H-bar is a decent play. Don't skip step 1 and 2. Step 1 and 2 is like Bitcoin should be the biggest portion of your portfolio, in my opinion. Right? Then once you have your meat and potatoes set up, you could have one big altcoin as your silver metal, whether it's Ethereum, whether it's XRP, whether it's H-bar, whether it's Link. And then you could spread out the rest of your portfolio. Something like that. Short X500. In my opinion, that is the move. And not spreading yourself too thin. All right. Take a look at. It says, thank you for the simple yet technically complete daily content. You do way better than others. I appreciate that. Thoughts on Quant's tokenomics? Quant has really good tokenomics. Easy way to check tokenomics is just go to whatever your favorite like coin market cap is. Whatever. Coin market cap, coin gecko, whatever. It doesn't really matter. But you're just going to look at the FDV. That's really what you want to see. So the easiest way is you're going to look at the FTV. So look at the market cap. And then look at the FTV. You want it to be within 40% of one another. So in Quant's case, it's like 15%. That's excellent. To me, if it's above 40%, it's a red flag. That means there's lots of dumpage of supply. That means there's lots of dilution of supply, right? So why does the US dollar suck? Because they keep diluting the supply, right? They keep printing more of it. That's what tokenomics is. We think that it's a cryptocurrency, so therefore it's like, you know, it doesn't fall to the same principles as like they're all good supply like Bitcoin. They're all scarce like Bitcoin, and that's not true. You got to get in the weeds on this stuff because price equals supply plus demand. I like coins that have really good FDV to market cap ratio. You want it to be within 40%. To me, it's pass fail. If it's above 40%, I don't have interest in buying it, because what does that mean? That means it's going to, the inflation of whatever coin you're looking at is going to be higher than the dollar, which generally is what we're measuring it in. We're measuring the success in the dollar. And if it's already super volatile and there's more inflation than the dollar, it's going to be really hard to outperform the dollar. It doesn't mean that it can't. I'm sure there's instances where coins do, but it just means that the probabilities are less. So I'll give you an example of what you don't want to see. And if you hold this coin, I'm sorry. This is what you don't want to see. You don't want to see 18 billion FDV and 1.6 billion market cap. What does that mean? That means for every Pi token you have now, one day you will need 10 of them, 11 of them, to equal your one Pi token now. That's what that means. That means they're going to, over the course of the lifetime, they're going to dilute this 11 to 1. So that's what you don't want. That's what terrible tokenomics is. This is why I was never a buyer of SWI, because I knew that they had not great tokenomics. They might have flattened the curve there. You know, they might have already dumped a lot of the supply. We'll see. I don't know. Yeah, it's a lot better than it was. It's close to 50%. So this still for me is not a buy, but it's getting closer. This was a lot worse when we were looking at this in 2024. When you compare the market cap went to a new all-time high, the price didn't. Like if we look at the charts, and market cap tells you the truth. That tells you the truth. Regardless of what the XRP army tells you, market cap is the true price of a coin. You're measuring how many dollars have been invested, how many are not. Now, I'm not crapping on SWI. I think it's a real project that's here to stay. But when people were asking me about it in 2024 and 2025, that's what I kept pounding the table on. Is like the tokenomics are not good. It's a lot better now. Actually, they've already past tense most of the inflation. Past tense is already done. So it's like, you know, same thing with HBAR. Like I wasn't buying HBAR in 2023, 2024 because they front loaded a lot of the inflation. When you look at the price versus the market cap, it's a lot better now. It's like 80+% of the tokenomics or 80+% of the supply is already released, but it wasn't that way in 2022. It went from like 50% to 80%. So it's like I already knew that it wasn't going to perform the same way. And you can see this in the price, okay? So here's the all-time high was 50 cents. During this bear market, they diluted a lot of the supply. Now, this is great news long term. It's terrible news short term, and we can see this, right? So if I pull a Fibonacci here, From the top to the bottom, you can see H bar only retraced. It went to the 618 Fibonacci retracement. It did not make a new all-time high, which is crazy because the market cap did. Right? So really, this coin, H bar, is just an example, went into price discovery. It made a new all-time high. But because there was delusion of the supply, and I love H bar. I love H bar. I think it's a buy now because the delusion is done. But because there was delusion in the supply and the product, it did not make a new all-time high. Now, if it were to make a new all-time high again, because most of the delusion is done, I think it will go to a new all-time high. But you can see the same thing is true for like SWI. If I show you the price, like this is like a double top. Let me pull up, not futures, but dollar. Look at how much lower this is. This is just a retrace. Again, same thing as H bar. So the December high here, you only retraced. The market cap, though, was a double top. That shows you delusion of supply. Filecoin. Yeah, Filecoin's another example, if I were to show you. So for me, like, this is a fundamental thing that I pay attention to when I want to figure out if I want to invest in a coin or not. They have to have good tokenomics because it's literally, it's not that it cannot make ROI, because it absolutely can. It's just, it's an uphill battle. You have to do exponentially better than what you would have had to have done. Okay, so Filecoin, another example. From the all-time high in 2021 till the high in 2024, which is pretty sad. It didn't even go to the 0.5. It went to the 382 Fibonacci retrace. Okay, so from the bottom of the bear market low to the highest point that it got to, that was a 5.8x. Now, let's check out Filecoin. By the way, the market cap on Filecoin has not made a new low yet. It's still hanging out at the same launch point. The price, however, is below the launch point. Why is that? Because of the delusion of supply. If we look at this, look at how different the chart looks compared to all-time high of 2021. Like, this doesn't look like a bad chart to me. It looks like it's just been accumulating this whole time. When you look at this, it's like, damn, I don't know. You know what I mean? So we know that this point right here, and I'm going to reference it again, just so you can see what is the date. The highest point in market cap we got to was March of 2024. This cycle. So it's right here. March of 2024. Where is it? Okay, yeah, right here. And we know that that point got to the 382. So it should be right here. I'm not even fully extended, and I can tell you it's not right there. So from the top to the bottom, that got to the 382. This is what bad tokenomics will do to your ROI. This is why the devil's in the details. You have to pay attention to this stuff. Because price equals supply plus demand. If you have bad supply, bad tokenomics, it's hard. It is not impossible, but it is hard. So here's the 382. This is the same point. Let me just show you one more time. Market cap. Okay, let me pull it over here. February, excuse me, I lied. February of 2024 was the highest point that we got to. Let's circle that and show it on the chart. It's to the 382. Again, let me show it one more time. 382, Fibonacci retracement. You can see from the tippity-dippity top to the bottom. 382 Fibonacci retrace. Okay, the February of 2024 is right here. All right. The 382 Fibonacci, if there was good tokenomics, was $91. It missed it by a 7x. And the market cap did a 5x, 5.8x from the bottom. The price only did a 3x. So tokenomics, like, you gotta pay attention to that stuff. You gotta pay attention to that stuff. It says one less holder of DIS I see. Okay, I'm accumulating 20% and then I'm sending it. So that's what's happening. I'm buying, same with Solnic. I'm accumulating 20% and then we're sending it. That's fine. I am not concerned what happens today or tomorrow. My timeline looks very different than that. Is it not better to buy a Link than ETH? You could make that argument. I think I like Link a lot. I like Link more than ETH. Link is in my kids' portfolio. ETH is not. I think ETH is fine, but yeah, that's how I feel about it. You just have to pay attention to market cap. So it's just going to be a retrace of market cap. That's my price prediction. So it's like, this is what I'm saying. Like, you need to do your charting based on the market cap. Make your decisions off of market cap. By the way, why did I sell $3.33 on XRP? Same reason. That's where the 1618 Fibonacci was. Okay? Same thing. That's market cap dominance. All right. All right, here's the market cap. Why did I have a $3.33 target? Because that's the 1618 Fibonacci extension. That is not the 1618. It's barely a new all-time high on XRP. That's why I had a 333 target, because it was based off of market cap. Market cap. Not based off of price. I saw that we were close to the 1618. I did the math. I pulled from the top to the bottom. This is exactly what I did. From the top to the bottom, here's what I did. I measured what is to the 1618. From the absolute bottom, which it wasn't at, but from this point right here, you could say from the, when I was actually doing it was probably in here. So we'll just say from December 22nd. From the FTX collapse, let's do that. From the FTX collapse to the 1618, what percentage is it? This is exactly how I got my target. It's a 1.1, or excuse me. That's an 11x. Okay? So what is that from here? Let me zoom in. Are you going to see how close it is? Here you go. Like, brother, we nailed the top right there. I could have done it. Listen, I got the target of 360, but I'm like, anytime I see things that are close to weird numbers like 333, 222, 589, whatever, anytime you see weird numbers, I try to take profit there. So that's how I did it. That's literally what I did. The key levels for cryptos, every chart's a little bit different. Every chart's a little bit different. But the key levels, you'll see, if you pay attention, The 618 Fibonacci, the 0.5, 618, 702, that range is a huge level. And then the 1618 through the 3618 is a huge range. And I always advocate for taking profit at each one of them. Take profit at the 1618. You don't know if it's going to go to full price discovery, full parabolic. You don't know. I don't know. So just take profit at each one. Where did I get the $78 target for silver? Where did I get the $107 target for silver? That's the 1618, the 2618. Let me show you Bitcoin. You guys think that it doesn't do this stuff? Let me show you this. Here it is. Let's do the tippity dippity top from 2017. I'm going to pull it and you're going to see where it goes to. Nails the 3618. Nails it. Fibonacci's are everything. Everything. Fibonacci's the source code. I feel like it's the same live stream every night. Then block me and move on, bro. Move on. I'll be in your feed forever. Block me. Move on. How about that? All right, then. Quit complaining. I'm tired, boss. All right, let me show you this. Because I had, listen, I had a 118 target. I had a 118 target. Anyone who did a portfolio review with me got a 118 exit target on Bitcoin. I promise you they did. 100K was the 1618. We didn't go to the 2618. You got to be on gear, man. You get pressed easy. Are you saying because I press so much weight? Some people need info beaten into their heads. 50K, 59K, here we come. Listen, 59K, I'm not mad at that. I think that we could definitely touch that. There's liquidity down here at 66K for sure. I think we're going to grab that. But when you look on the long, big picture, we can wick there, sure. But, I mean, yeah, it's not too much. Let me go on the bigger time frame. What is the next one? It's 169, I believe. So let's just say we're from the future. And we know. Let's say we know it's going to 59K. Let's say we know it's going to 58K. Let's do that. I think that that's a reasonable wick to grab. I think that's a reasonable call. Right? It's 160. And I bet it does it by 2026. He says, I'm up 50% on my ETH long. Let's go. We got a runner. Is ETH running? Did you long it at the beginning of this live stream? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, Fibonacci's, guys, is like the whole source code. Like, everything is Fibonacci's. Everything. Lottie-dottie, everybody. Same thing on silver, guys. Like, I accumulated silver at $20. I had two targets, $78, and this got moved, and $107. Those were my two targets. I sold some of my silver at 78. I sold some at 107. Guess what? People are like, "Oh, Nana Boo Boo, you idiot." We were not in my 107 call for, let's see how many days that call was out of profit. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Good night, Charlene. That's it. See you later. Good night. Nighty night. See you later. Sayonara. This isn't even oversold on the daily. This could go so much deeper. How much is the private group? $88 for lifetime access. It's a one-time payment. It's not a subscription. I'm not going to nickel and dime you. It's just a one-time payment for lifetime access. I upload in there. I give my calls in there. I do TA in there. There's exclusive videos. There's books that have helped me. I share my portfolio, spot anytime I buy or sell. And then I do the live trading sessions Monday through Friday. Where do you see Bitcoin in the next few weeks? I think we're going to reclaim 80K. Next few weeks. Okay. Are we talking like the end of March? I think we reclaim 80K. Where do I sign up? It's all manual because I want to make sure. What do you think about XRP? Just kidding. What is up, brother? It's good to see you. Hey, I'm grateful for XRP. A lot of people call me a perma bull. Ski's a perma bull. Hold up. Ski's a perma bull. He's only bullish. You wrecked your followers, Ski. January 25th, 2025. So yeah, listen, I'm grateful for XRP. It literally bought the farm for me. I actually bought a little bit at $1. I said same thing I feel about silver. I sold my silver at $78 and $107. Those were my two exits. I said I have zero interest in buying silver until we get back to 50. I've been saying the same thing about XRP. No interest. I sold it at 333. Zero, not a little bit of interest until we got back to $1.30. I think there's actually a decent chance that this is it, though, for XRP. Especially Ethereum, too. Good morning. Can you draw lines? Not well. Not well. What about 95 to 105K? There's a decent bit of liquidity. Here's the deal. Like, there's some liquidity at 66K. We're probably going to grab that. It's starting to build up to the downside here. We'll probably grab that. There's almost nothing beyond that. And then when you go on the big time frames, like, it's all everything. It's just there's no liquidity. Like, we grabbed all of this. All of it. It's gone. It's all upside. There's billions liquidations upside. He says, bro, I just told my people you draw lines. I draw lines, okay? I'm not a good artist. I thought that's what you're talking about. You want to draw? We can draw some squigglies, okay? Why so much upside? Because, listen, the market is all about balance. When there's the market is literally just imbalances. That's it. A bull market is an imbalance to the upside. A bear market is an imbalance to the downside. It's constantly rebalancing itself. It's always finding imbalances. So yin yang, right? So every yin there's a yang. So when you have, this is what the imbalance was back in January. We have rebalanced. All this red stuff, all this yellow stuff here was the imbalances, the liquidity. And it grabbed all of it, all the way down. All of it. So listen, I'm not saying that the bottom is in. We're never going to wick lower. That's not what I'm saying. We'll probably March 3rd. That's the last lunar eclipse until 2029. That's the big one, 2029. Wrong chat. Thank you for the $5 CAD donation, brother. You savage.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Hey, just curious if you have a public Solana wallet. Yeah, 6 low. That's me. Don't 99x on the ETH. That's crazy, bro. Thanks for fixing YouTube, Ski. You're welcome. I guess YouTube was down. They were waiting for me to go back live. We fixed it. You have a Bitcoin targets for bear market, for bear cycle. What are you asking me, brother? Six low. We might not pass until October. Sure. Listen, that's the scheduled bottom. That's what everyone's waiting for. We're going to get a dip to 50K on the scheduled October bottom. Everyone just woke up one day and started saying that. I don't know. Sure. Like, I'll buy that for $1, but like, I don't know. I don't think so. Thoughts on March FOMC? I have no idea. That is not what I do for sure. Here's what I think is going to happen. Here's pie in the sky. If you're like, show me the charts, I'll tell you the news. Pie in the sky, show me the charts, I'll tell you the news. March 3rd is the last lunar eclipse until 2029. All right, there is signals all around us screaming. Look at the volume on Bitcoin. Look at this volume. This is the highest volume that we've had. Let me go to the volume candles so you can really see this. This is the highest volume that we've had since the Japan rate cut fiasco. Okay? This is the most oversold on the daily RSI that we have been since the 2018 bear market low. Not even 2022, not FTX, not Luna, not the war in Israel, not Silicon Valley Bank going to zero. None of them. Not the Japan rate cut, not the tariff crash, none of them. We haven't been this oversold since 2018. Not the C19. 2018. That's the last time we were this oversold. Does that mean that's the bottom? We're never going to wick lower? We're never going to fill out structure? No, that's not what that means. It just means we're in a value zone. And I'll give you an example of like how this could play out. So FTX went to zero. We talk a lot about FTX being the bottom. Technically, it was not actually the bottom. It was not the wick low bottom, and I'm going to show you. So you have these structures that happen. The big liquidation, the big climax, if you will, event was FTX. November 9th, 2022. We went to $15,565. That wasn't the low, though. We went lower on no event on the 21st of November, which was the low. So this is like you have the climax, and then you have a test of liquidity. I think we could get something like that. 58,000, sure. And back to the pie in the sky. Show me the charts, I'll tell you the news. What do I think is going to happen? The Clarity Act is supposed to be passed before March 3rd. That's the last lunar eclipse until 2029. Okay, you're like, why is he talking about the lunar eclipse? Is he a witch? No. But Luna went to zero on the lunar eclipse. This was the selling climax of the market in 2022. That was the bottom for Ethereum. That was the bottom for most of your altcoins. FTX went to zero on the lunar eclipse, the blood moon. Okay, I'm not a witch. I'm just reporting data. So the last lunar eclipse until 2029 is March 3rd. I bought some with my spot bag over here. I bought Bitcoin at 63K and I bought XRP at about $1.20, knowing that we can go lower. But this is like, and I need to separate this for you guys to understand. Because there's two different people. I wear two hats, okay? There's the DCA, buy a little bit every week for your kids, for your grandkids, for generational wealth, right? I wear that hat. And then there's the hat of Ski, who is the swing trader, who is the value investor, who accumulated XRP at 30 cents and sold at $3.33, who accumulated Bitcoin. Now, I only sold 40%. I should have sold more in hindsight, sure. I accumulated in the last bear market at $22,000, and I sold some at $118,000. I should have sold more in hindsight. And in fact, I'll be honest and transparent, this move right here was very elusive to me. This move caught me. It did. I was very skittish here when we were at 118. I kept being like, I don't know. This is the target that I had. This is a big level. We're at the 1618. This is a big target. Right? This was my target here, April 7th, when we were at 74K. I have video evidence, receipts. When we came back up to 126, this made me bullish, and it caught me. Okay, I thought we were going to go to the 2618. This move caught me. I was skittish here. This move caught me. It did. Now, the person that's speaking now, I say all that to say, I don't get things perfectly right. But the person that's speaking now is the value swing investor. I think the value is good now. Can we go to 50K? Like, sure. Like, what the hell doesn't matter, though? What is the difference between 55K and 65K when you're at 250K? What is the difference? Now, leverage trading, like, sure, that's a big difference. But if you're spot accumulating, like, what is the difference? So that's how I feel about it. Like, maybe we're at 18K. Can we go to 16K, 15.5? Sure. But I feel the value right now, risk to reward, is very, very high. We have 220 days of support over here. We have 290 days of support over here. Can we get through that? Yeah, we sure can. It certainly can happen. Now, back to the full thing. What do I think is going to happen March 3rd, the Clarity Act? I think this is now tinfoil hat. There's no TA here. There's none of that. I think that they are going to not pass it. There's going to be a correction. And then in the wee hours of the night, when nobody's watching, they're going to pass it. And there's going to be clarity. Maybe on the 10th, maybe on the 15th, whatever the case may be. In the wee hours of the night, while they're burning the midnight oil, I think they're going to pass it. And then that's going to be it. And I think we have a noticeable trend change by April. All right, let's read some of these comments here. Hit the like. For what? He says, hey, buddy. Just joined. First thing I hear is the lunar eclipse. You hate to see it. Damn it, bro. I promise I'm not a witch. I promise. I'm just reporting data. Please, don't crucify. I'm not a witch, bro. That's funny. All right, guys. I appreciate all you guys for hanging out with me. Shout out to the White Whale for showing up. I guess I think he probably retweeted my live stream. I appreciate you for that. But I'm tired, boss. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. I will never message you first. Those are scammers, for the love of God. Don't get scammed. Stay online. I'm tired, boss. I'll be live tomorrow. Don't worry. I'll be live about the same time tomorrow. You guys came in on the tail end of it. I go live Monday through Friday about the same time. On Friday, I go live with Alex, where we're Bitcoin in the morning, 9 a.m. Central Time. And then I'm normally live in the evenings. All right, guys. That's going to be it for this time. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. I will never message you first. Peace, love, prosperity. God first. God bless.